Hi everyone, and welcome to our Friday edition of 19 at Noon, our weekday weather show sponsored by Cost Saver. Meteorologist Emery here. We are live wherever you stream, including of course on Facebook and YouTube. So apologies for the slight delay. We had some connection issues with our Facebook. We're back online. We're back online on YouTube as well. So hi everyone. Thank you again so much for joining us. We're live wherever you stream, including the 24/7 weather streaming channel, as well as on Fox19.com and the Fox 19 News and First Alert weather apps. We're also live on the Facebook pages of Fox 19 and my Facebook page at Emery WX. I just updated the forecast, made a few tweaks, but nothing too serious, nothing too crazy, I guess. But we are going to be talking about that, talking about the weekend, which looks really nice. And then, of course, what temperatures could be like going into next week. All coming up here in just a few minutes. I want to remind you, too, that if you have any questions or comments, you can always chime in on our Fox 19 Facebook page as well as on my Facebook page. And I'll try to check those out throughout this broadcast. We try to keep this within 20 minutes or so. That way we can get now the natty rolling with Abby doing that. And we've got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, event-wise, and weather looks to be very nice for that. So we're going to begin by looking at our rooftop camera here in Queensgate above the studios here at Fox 19, looking out, I believe, towards downtown Cincinnati, unless they've moved it, and they haven't. It's the same spot. So yes, beautiful, clear skies out there. The front has passed, and if you walk outside, you might notice the humidity beginning to drop. So encouraging news after yesterday, which yesterday wasn't bad, but it certainly did have a little bit of a humid factor to it. And right now it's 80 degrees here in Cincinnati. So again, blue skies, just a few clouds. This is over looking towards the north and east ever so slightly. But those clouds are what we call fair weather cumulus clouds. So it's just from the daytime heating. We're not looking at these clouds billowing up. No rain chances in store for today. It's just going to be a pleasant afternoon. And if you are traveling here this Friday, any kind of issues on the roadways, we'll check those out real quick. We'll first zoom in here. There's one area of a slowdown. It's right along the I-71-75 northbound between Buttermilk Pike and 275. Some bumper-to-bumper traffic there. Let's see what the average speed is for this spot. About 9 miles per hour, so it's not moving really quickly. But there is, it looks like, a situation. It looks like this is just past Buttermilk Pike. So it's a vehicle breakdown, and it's northbound. So if you have any folks traveling from northern Kentucky, maybe trying to make their way towards Covington or perhaps over towards Cincinnati area, just keep in mind that there could be a slight delay with that. Otherwise, though, radar looking nice and quiet. You can see there's nothing happening across the region as the front, again, has passed on through. And we will widen this out to show you that, yeah, we've had the clouds that moved through from yesterday evening, last night, are now off into West Virginia, where they're dealing with a few showers there in that direction. And if you're curious, all this rain here is actually the remnants of Debbie at this point, moving all the way up towards New York, and it'll be in Canada by late tonight into Saturday morning. But we have no issues with that. We're just looking at clear skies here at home. And right now, temperatures across the region, you can see there's a stark difference. And we're at 80, 79 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Detroit, 70 in Chicago, 74 St. Louis. The mid-60s right now. Now, granted, it's 1 hour behind, so Central Time. So it's 11 a.m. and 64 in Minneapolis, 66 in Waterloo, 65 at KC. That colder air mass, or cooler air mass, depending on relative speaking, but that's going to move in this evening into tonight, and that's why things will be kind of a taste of autumn for tonight through Monday morning. And the dew point, that's going to be a stark difference too, because it's already fairly comfortable in comparison to what it was yesterday. Yesterday we had dew points in the low 70s. Oh, you can see just to the north and west, dew points are in the low 50s and upper 40s. That is also moving in our direction. So what we're doing now is kind of zoom in here at home across the tri-state. So temperatures are anywhere from 83, the warmest spot, over towards the Lunken Airport, and the cooler spot just outside the Fox 19 Now viewing area, Richmond, Indiana, 73. That's just north of Union County. But if you want to include the Fox 19 Now viewing area, 75, the cool spot over in Batesville. And here's some good news, is the dew points for everyone are in the upper 50s and low 60s. The exceptions, though, are Batesville and Lebanon. Those areas a little bit more humid. It's because of agriculture. We've said this before. I need to build an explainer graphic, but I've got a lot of projects going on behind the scenes, and you'll see some of those projects unfolding here in the next few weeks. But those areas are dealing with agriculture, evapotranspiration, just because of the moisture transpiring off of the plants, and it just adds more humidity in those locations. It's a very common thing. If you grew up in an agricultural place, I did, and I understand this very well, is when you drive by, it just feels more humid, it feels more sticky, and at night it oftentimes can allow for fog development if it's clear with calm winds, compared to most other locations. So that's the reason why they're still looking at a little bit of humidity, but it's not bringing in any kind of impacts for those spots. Take a look right now at the winds, because we are looking at the potential for some breezy winds this afternoon behind this front. And once this loads, you'll see the sustained winds that are anywhere between 5 and maybe 15 miles per hour, and gusts have been showing up to 20 miles per hour. And we could see gusts as high as 25, maybe close to 30 miles per hour. And I suspect anyone that's going to see those strongest of wind gusts will be for our northern counties. Otherwise, though, today the wind's not a huge issue, but noticeable. And what is going to be noticeable for sure is the lower humidity. Today's high, 84, so near normal for this time of the year, with mostly sunny skies and clear skies tonight. By 9 p.m., 73 degrees. And if you are traveling here on this finally Friday, we've got conditions ranging pretty broad range. 74 in Chicago, 90 in Charleston, West Virginia. So still pretty warm here. This is ahead of the front. 89 down into Nashville, 86 in Lexington, 83 up in Columbus, 79 in Cleveland, 78 in Indianapolis, and also 79 in St. Louis. So dry conditions for the region, except of course towards Charleston, where there have been a few light showers, but nothing too significant there. And looking at the forecast model for today, no issues. I mean, again, quiet conditions, clear skies tonight. We go into Saturday looking pleasant, looking great. And throughout the whole weekend, things look really, really nice. And there's just a ton of events. And I do want to bring this up because it's been overlooked. We have FC Cincinnati tonight over at TQL. The Leagues Cup, it continues. At 7:30 kickoff, temperatures will be around 79 degrees as FC faces off against Santos Laguna, and we are going to be looking at great conditions for tailgating and, of course, during and after that match. And then, of course, we have this here on Fox 19, the Bengals preseason game, 7 p.m. Against the Buccaneers. Temperatures at kickoff, if maybe you're heading down to Paycor or along the banks, temperatures will be in the upper 70s. But when the game starts, it'll be in the mid-70s, and by halftime, we're falling into the upper 60s. And I believe we also have a special before the game begins right here on Fox 19. You want to tune in for that. I believe that's at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So if you typically watch us on 19 at 6, that's a Saturday evening and Sunday evening weather shows we do just like this. But if you typically tune in for that on fox19.com or the Fox 19 News app or anywhere you stream like Roku or Apple TV, you will need to go somewhere else to watch 19 at 6. We're still going to have it, but it's going to be on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the 24/7 weather streaming channels. That's going to be the only place you can watch that. Otherwise, you're welcome to watch, of course, our Bengals special with all the sports people. All do a terrific job. And looks to be really exciting. So let me see real quick. I made a bunch of graphics, and I'm trying to figure out which ones to show because there's just so much going on. Here we go. This is over at Turfway Park Event Center. We don't often show this one. Mostly sunny and cool as you're heading over to Turfway Park for tomorrow evening, where we are looking at this event looking to be pretty nice by midnight. Saturday night into Sunday, temperatures will be in the mid-60s. And then we also have, on Saturday evening, This one's really cool. I was not familiar with this until the other day. The Water Lantern Festival, that's over in Eden Park. And mostly clear, comfortable conditions. And I've always been fascinated with water lanterns. So I'll be at work at this time, but I'm going to try to see if I can move the tower camera, the Newport Levy camera, to see if there's any way I can, excuse me, try to see some of this. But that'll be really fascinating. And maybe if you're going, send us some photos at fox19.com/pics, or you can email it to me at ethan.emery@fox19now.com. And that'd be really cool to kind of see what, how many people show up, and also how many lanterns will be out on the water. We also have, I'm just going to go through a list of all the different events because there's just so much to show. And I made all these graphics and I want to show them off. Why not? So Friday, On Point Music Festival taking place today, 5:30 to 10 o'clock, 84 degrees. And then tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, again, sunshine, quiet conditions. We also have, this is really cool, a Seek Cincy scavenger hunt. I actually, a few years ago, I think it was, I want to say it was in 2021. I was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and my friends up in Dayton also had something like this. It was a scavenger hunt across the city. You get to see, cool sights, things like that. I believe the one in Dayton was themed with a story. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this one quite as much, but it still sounds really cool. But either way, it's today and tomorrow both, and weather conditions look really nice for that. There's also the Sacred Heart Parish Festival, and that's up in Fairfield all weekend long. Looks really, really good. And then we also have, oh, that's for next weekend. I'm trying to go through all these. I made all these well in advance. I try to keep up with all the events. And of course, if we have any events that you want to highlight, you can also send us an email. You can also let us know on Facebook. You can comment that on Facebook, and I'll try to write it down, just because there's so many events to cover. We can't cover all of them just because there's so much, but any of them we tried to give some shout outs, give some love to all over the tri-state. This one's as a big one, though, of course. We've been talking about it. We've got some really cool stuff coming up this afternoon. Ken Baker will be on the afternoon newscasts talking about the VOA Country Music Festival up in Westchester, and looks really good. Low humidity. So I believe last year one of those days was pretty warm, if I recall. But fortunately this year, not much in the issues. Not much in the way of issues, that is. And then also Sunday is the start of the Cincinnati Open. It's going to be a lot of fun up there in Mason, Ohio. Great to have the Cincinnati Open here in the tri-state. And the real Queen City. That's a, tongue-in-cheek saying because Charlotte. But anyway, Monday, 82. And Monday does have a slight chance of showers. Tuesday, got a high of 83 degrees. And so let's take a look at the Muggy meter real quick. We'll take a look at the forecast model data for next week, show you that updated 7-day forecast, and then the outlooks for what to expect beyond the 7-day forecast here in a moment. So our Muggy meter, again, comfortable air. It's in place. It's going to stay pretty much comfortable through the middle of next week. So I would say this opportunity, take it with turning off your AC. Have the windows open. Now, if you don't like 50s, if you think the 50s are too cool, and I understand that completely, maybe have your windows open towards the evening, and then once it gets too chilly, close the windows, and then just keep the AC off, and it'll be really nice to have. Have a fan circulate that cool air around the house, and it'll be good to do that for the next several evenings and mornings here in the tri-state. So I know this year the ACs have been working in overtime some of those days. I know mine certainly has, because my apartment complex, unfortunately, it gets hot in there pretty easy. And I have fans. I have 2 fans, and I blow them around, try to circulate the air. But once it gets above like 85, 86, it gets a little too hot, and I have to turn on the AC. And there's been several days where I've had to have that AC on blast, and my electric bill certainly is seeing that. So we've got sunny, cool conditions here. High pressure is mainly in control, although Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and got to get rid of the high pressure here over us. I don't know why that's there. Let's turn that off because it's blocking the point I want to bring in. So here we go. All the way through Sunday, no issues. Monday morning, no issues. Now, Monday afternoon, models have been going back and forth on this. And right now, this model is actually bringing in later. But I would say Monday evening, and Tuesday do have the chance for maybe a few showers, rumbles of thunder. You can see this little cluster of activity here. For Monday, this has it pushed in later, so this is Monday night. Does have some activity move through, and then this goes into Tuesday. Now, there is a lot of uncertainty with this. I really want to address that. There's a lot of unknowns because models are going all over the place for next week. We're kind of caught between two air masses. We're on the cooler side of it, but we're kind of caught in between. So there could be a rain chance, but it does not look to be very high. But it's going to be there for Monday night, and into Tuesday. And then we go into Tuesday evening into Wednesday. I think we are going to be dry for the middle of the work week. But we go into the latter half of the work week, so Thursday evening into Friday, I do think we could see the return of some shower activity here into the tri-state. Let's see if this goes out far enough to show that. Well, it only goes out to Friday noon. So this is all the way to next Friday. I will say next Friday evening, some of this activity here does make its way into the tri-state and looks to be continuing into the beginning of the next weekend. So there is that. And so I'll show you the 7-day forecast. I've been rambling for a little bit. I haven't even looked at the comments, so if you've been asking questions, I apologize. I have been talking quite a bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at that 7-day forecast. And again, a lot of events, and I feel like some of these are not being highlighted on the 7-day. So imagine, if you will, once this loads, FC Cincinnati's on Friday, of course with the Bengals on Saturday. Cincinnati open on Sunday, and then Monday, the Reds are back in town. So a lot of events showing up here next several days, really. But today, breezy, high of 84. Saturday, Sunday, highs in the upper 70s, lows in the mid 50s. So really nice, cool, calm mornings. Monday, we're back in the low 80s, and there's that slight chance, can't rule it out. Tuesday does look a little bit drier, but there still is that potential for a slight chance on Tuesday. Otherwise, we've got a high of 83 with partly cloudy skies. Wednesday and Thursday, mid-80s. They do look dry for the most part with near normal conditions. Normal is around 85. Normal lows around 65, 64. So pretty average 7-day forecast all in all once you go past Tuesday. And it looks to stay that way into next weekend, temperature-wise, though. There are going to be opportunities for a few showers. And I know we certainly need some of that rain for our eastern counties where they have moderate drought conditions. So beyond the 7-day forecast, this is the next 2 weeks, temperatures look to be just above normal, which kind of makes sense because by that point, going into the middle of August, average highs and lows will begin to go down to the lower 80s, whereas forecast model data is kind of keeping that mid-80 high, mid-60 low temperature in play. And when it comes to the rain chances, there are some rain chances, but it does not look to be too impressive at this point. And then looking ahead to the end of August, going to the beginning of September, which hard to believe we're talking about that already. But, you know, for people who ask, this is kind of your answer. We are looking at going into September, what you typically expect. So highs getting into the lower 80s and upper 70s. Morning lows in the upper 50s and low 60s at that point. And when it comes to rain chances too, we're kind of in that ballpark of, well, we're going to have some rain chances, but it's not going to be a lot, but it's not going to be completely dry the whole time either. So we have that going for us at least. So we'll go back to the 7-day forecast. And you know what? I want to show you what Catherine and Steve are going to show you this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and just advance it to the forecasts, the 7-day forecast, which includes next Friday. So give me a moment. The computer's taking a moment to breathe. Maybe. And there we go. And I did add the icons for this one. So Cincinnati open on Sunday, Monday Reds. There's that slight chance, otherwise partly cloudy and mild with a high of 82. And then, as I mentioned, all the other things. So now take a look at some of those Facebook comments and questions. Again, I missed out on the questions. Okay, Jordan. Sorry I'm a bit late, but will it be windy for the rest of the day? Yeah, a little breezy out there for the remainder of the day. We could see gusts up to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour if you live up in Middletown or Mason or Wilmington. Those areas are more susceptible to seeing stronger wind gusts just because of the geography. It's a little more flatter, so they typically tend to get more of those winds. And even portions of southeast Indiana could certainly see that. So I'm looking at my Facebook right now on my phone for my Facebook page to see if there are any questions or comments there. We do not. Although I do have some comments on my other post, which was a kind of a flashback to when I was in South Dakota. It was kind of a cool video of a promo video. Oh, yeah, we've got some spammers here. You go ahead and hide that. So if you see any posts or any comments on any of these where people are talking about giving money away or they have links, do not click on those. Do not give in, because those are scammers. Let's not give them the attention that they're looking for. And with that, I'm not going to give them any more attention. And we'll move on here. So at this point, it's been about 20 minutes. I've not seen any additional comments or questions that are worth looking at. And at this point, we're going to close things off. So again, the forecast looking pretty quiet. There's only the rain chance perhaps on Monday night, maybe into Tuesday morning, question marks there. And then also towards the end of the week, Friday, we did introduce some rain chances for that, particularly the afternoon and evening by the looks of it at this point. But of course, the best way to stay updated is having that Fox 19 First Alert weather app, as well as checking out the Fox 19 First Alert 24/7 weather streaming channel. It's available wherever you stream 24/7. And of course, we got your Bengals preseason game here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So I'm sure you'll be watching that. And if not, you can also watch our newscasts beginning at 3 o'clock. Meteorologist Catherine Bodak will give you some updates on this. And also Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer will be in this evening beginning at 5 here on Fox 19. I'll be behind the scenes working on some projects here with the First Alert Weather team. So that being said, thank you all so much. I will see you for 19 at 6 tomorrow evening on Facebook, YouTube, and the 24/7 weather streaming channel. Anywhere else, you'll see our Bengals preseason pregame show here on Fox 19. So thank you all. Have a great Friday afternoon and Friday evening.